You come into this state or this country, you come in illegally. Otherwise, you'll be arrested and be deported.
State Senator Russell Pierce is introducing a new initiative that would help authorities fight illegal immigration.
And also, getting a check in the mail would be exciting for anyone unless that check was a fake.
Just weeks old, you won't believe where one organization found these cute dogs and what they're doing to save them. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite NewsWatch. I'm Liz Rowe.
And I'm Samantha Boatman. Our top story tonight, a new move to crack down on illegal immigration in our state. Today, details of a new initiative were unveiled, and it's sure to cause some controversy. Mike Pelton joins us now. Mike, what happened at the Capitol?
Samantha, State Senator Russell Pierce and other legislators endorsed a new plan this morning, and if it passes, it will give authorities more power in dealing with illegal immigration.
We've got political handcuffs on him.
Senator Russell Pierce took the fight against illegal immigration one step further today, pushing his new Law Enforcement and Safe Neighborhood Act.
And the message is going to be loud and clear. We're a nation of laws. You come into this state or this country, you come in illegally. Otherwise, you'll be arrested and be deported.
The new act would prohibit municipalities from restricting enforcement of immigration laws. It would make it a state crime to be present in Arizona illegally and give subpoena powers to prosecutors to enforce the state's employer sanctions law. Sheriff Arpaio was at today's press conference to show his support for Pierce's plan, and he says he's glad he's getting help in his battle against illegal immigrants.
The legislature passes laws, I enforce the laws, and the prosecutor prosecutes. It's a team effort.
Just weeks ago, Arpaio had his authority stripped by the feds to enforce illegal immigration law on the streets. Arpaio says he's not stopping and will continue to conduct his sweeps. He says while this new plan would give him some much-needed support, he's still enforcing the law, regardless of what anyone says.
Just a few hours ago, we arrested 10 more illegal aliens.
And while Pierce says he's coming down hard on illegal immigrants, those opposed say his plan isn't going to do much.
All of these anti-immigrant legislations that come out of the Senate and come out of the House of Representatives here in Arizona has done nothing to help us. It hasn't made us a safer place or a safer community.
Now, Senator Pierce says he plans on filing a citizens initiative by November 1st, and if it doesn't pass in the legislature, it'll be put to a vote for all of you to decide. Live in the CNS newsroom, Mike Pelton, Cronkite News.
2 Hispanic men have been given jail time for holding a group of illegal immigrants hostage at a Phoenix drop house last year. One of the men got 15 years and the other got a 137-year sentence. The man with the shorter sentence took a plea agreement. Police say the men are part of a violent group of human smugglers.
Pretty soon you'll be seeing census workers going door to door across the state asking for information to get an accurate account of who's living in Arizona. But there's also a concern that scam artists might try to take advantage as well. This is a video from the Census Bureau about the census-taking process. Officials are warning you to beware of census worker impersonators who might be trying to steal your identity.
But if they are legitimate U.S. Census employees, they will have identification, and they will not be afraid to answer any questions about who they are and provide you with a number of where to call.
And census officials say a census worker will never ask you for your Social Security number or any credit or bank information. Also, don't let anyone into your house that you don't know. And also tonight, a warning about a bank scam that's targeting seniors. Reporter Leah Langstaff has been looking into the story. Leah, it sounds like it's becoming an even bigger problem. Is that right?
That's right, Liz. With all types of fraud on the rise, the Arizona Attorney General's office is warning people to watch out for letters and fake checks that come in the mail claiming the recipient has won a sweepstakes or a lottery that could change their lives forever. How many times have you opened your mailbox and seen these checks promising you thousands of dollars? Well, Jerry Henderson is one of the people who got a check like this.
I thought I got rich.
Jerry received the fake check in the mail accompanied by a letter explaining that he had won $250,000 in a promotional sweepstakes, and it instructed him to deposit the check and then mail back a money order out of his account in order to pay for the taxes on his winnings.
It's got to be a fraud right away, so I knew right away.
Jerry called the company number listed on the letter, and when he didn't get any straight answers, he took the check to his bank and discovered it was fake. Arizona Attorney General Terry Goddard says that these check scams targeting seniors are on the rise. And he's saying you have to ask some basic common sense questions so you don't get taken.
Why me? What's the real story here? Why does this check relate to that particular scheme? And why is it overseas?
Jerry says he is thankful he caught onto the scam before he became a victim and lost money.
I'd be real mad because I'm retired and don't have that much money.
Now, the advice of the Attorney General's office is to always ask yourself if the situation seems even a little bit weird, or if it sounds like it's too good to be true. It probably is. And of course, wait for a check to clear before you start spending the money. In the newsroom, Leah Langstaff, Cronkite News.
If you'd like more information to learn about the scams, you can go to the Attorney General's Top 10 Consumer Scams presentation. It's on Monday, October 26th at 6 p.m. at the Westbrook Village Fine Arts and Learning Center in Peoria.
And another kind of threat is making headlines today, but luckily it was stopped in time. A terror plot in Massachusetts against politicians, malls in the United States, and troops in Iraq was stopped by the FBI. Officials say a pharmacy college graduate in Boston and 2 other men, one of whom is in Syria, were involved in the plot, but were unable to get training or automatic weapons. The third man is cooperating with the investigation.
Don't shoot at the chest. That's what Taser International is telling police agencies that use their tasers. The Scottsdale company now says that a shot to the chest could put the subject in low risk of having an adverse cardiac event. They say such an event is unlikely, but agencies can avoid controversy by shooting at other parts of the body.
Details surrounding the deaths at the sweat lodge in Sedona are slowly being revealed. One person inside the sweat lodge described how James Arthur Ray, the man who led the ceremony, allegedly deprived the participants of food and water during a 36-hour outdoor retreat and then had them spend 2 hours in the sweat lodge itself. The survivor says Ray told them to fight through the pain even as other participants got sick around them so they could gain a higher level of consciousness. The investigation into Ray is being treated as a homicide.
And right now, Native American leaders from across the Southwest are meeting in Tucson for a 5-day tribal meeting. More than 100 tribes are represented at the conference. Leaders are discussing everything from education to environmental issues affecting reservations here in Arizona, California, and Nevada. And here in the Valley, tribal authorities are coping with hundreds of stray dogs searching for food and shelter. The growing problem has motivated one group to take action, one dog at a time. They're cute, friendly, and playful, but what you might not be able to tell about these dogs is they were rescued from deadly living conditions. DeLon Washoe Krupps is one of the volunteers who helps rescue the dogs from Indian reservations around the valley.
Usually we have the best luck later at night, and what we do is we take a humane trap where you bait it with food, and then the dog walks in and the trap closes behind it.
The dogs are then given much-needed medical attention.
They go to the vet the next day, so they get checked out. They have to be spay and neutered.
Fort McDowell Chief of Police Jesse Delmar says the problem is mainly due to a lack of spay and neutering, along with people dropping off and deserting dogs on the reservation.
And as a result, we are having some problems with overpopulation of dogs.
He says Second Chance Rescue has provided them a quick solution.
They provided an option for us as something that some folks that we could resort to for help.
Volunteer Holly Schaefer works closely with the dogs. She says people are often misinformed.
People think some of the dogs that we get are feral or they're wild. They're not at all. They're afraid. They're afraid of people, but as you can see with the dogs here, they come around and they make wonderful pets.
Both Holly and DeLon hope more people will join the effort by adopting or even temporarily fostering these dogs.
Don't discount dogs that have come from the Indian reservation just because of where they've come from.
Because where they've come from might only be a few steps from a loving home. DeLon says money is always appreciated, but dog crates, food, medicine, blankets, and toys are always needed as well. For more information, please go to petfinder.com and search Second Chance Dog Rescue in Queen Creek.
Coming up on Cronkite NewsWatch.
With the temperatures dropping, the yearly season of cold and flu is here. We'll take you to where everyone is running for protection.
If you needed an organ donation, would you want one from a smoker? We'll tell you about the policy that's allowing smokers and people with other unhealthy habits to donate their organs. People are overreacting to the H1N1 virus and rushing to their doctors. That's according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. As the virus spreads, doctor visits are rising quickly. Since April of this year, there have been 86 confirmed deaths from the swine flu, and 41 states are reporting widespread activity of the flu, including Arizona.
And emergency rooms in the valley have been swamped by people showing up to be treated for the swine flu. Reporter Rebecca Parsons has just returned from one hospital where they're urging people to think twice before coming to the ER.
Well, doctors that we talked with say that if you're experiencing chest pains or having problems breathing, then you want to get to the emergency room. But if you're just starting to suffer from flu-like symptoms, try an urgent care clinic or your own doctor's office. The problem is that the ERs are just too swamped with all the cases that are coming in. As a matter of fact, the health department says that about 99% of all flu cases in the state right now are H1N1. And so many of them are ending up in the emergency rooms. Most of the times, all ER doctors can do is direct patients on how to deal with the symptoms. Good Samaritan ER trauma doctor Richard Watts commented on when you should get to the ER and when you shouldn't.
A patient is having chest pain, shortness of breath, a headache that doesn't seem to go away or becomes worse, or they're feeling unsteady while they're walking or standing, they really need to seek medical attention immediately.
So, if you find yourself coming down with the flu, call your doctor's office and try to get in. They might be able to give you some Tamiflu to help cut down on the severity of the symptoms. Again, though, if you are experiencing chest pains or having troubles breathing, get to the emergency rooms. Also, the doctors stress the importance of taking advantage of the vaccinations when they become available to you. Live in Phoenix, Rebecca Parsons, Cronkite News.
For hundreds of thousands of people across the country, organ transplants are life-saving, but they can also be deadly. Cronkite News reporter Kenneth Wong finds out what donor networks across the country are doing to make transplants safe.
Sam, just this past week, a story surfaced of a man from Britain who died after receiving donor lungs from a heavy smoker. Apparently, doctors didn't see a cancerous tumor that eventually killed the patient. This raised a lot of questions about how organs are tested before transplant to make sure they're safe.
So I've got many attacks and many bouts of pneumonia. So over the years, my lungs became scarred.
Barb Davern's lungs were so damaged by treatments for asthma that only a lung transplant could save her life.
They said, Barb, we have lungs for you. Can you be in Tucson in 4 hours?
Barb is now great with her new lungs, but organ shortages in Arizona means that smokers' lungs are now used for transplant, and that's causing some concern, especially after news of a British man dying from lung cancer after receiving a smoker's lungs. The Donor Network of Arizona is calling for calm.
There were more than 230,000 organ transplants in the U.S., and out of that number, 64 cases were reported where people did acquire cancer through transplantation.
Even though the chance of getting cancer from an organ transplant is less than 1%, the Donor Network isn't taking any chances, and they test every single organ before it is transplanted into another person.
There's a series of tests that each donor is evaluated to determine the health of their organs.
As for Barb, she knew about the risk, but she's willing to take a chance.
I never had a fear that I received anything that wasn't just right for me.
And the Donor Network say the real problem is actually the donor shortage here in Arizona. For more information about organ donation, as well as ways to sign up, visit donatelife.org. Kenneth Wong, Cronkite News.
Coming up on Cronkite NewsWatch, we have an application for your smartphone that will give you the one-up next time you hit the road.
And we're watching some storm systems across the country, but here in the valley, we're looking at a beautiful weekend. We'll tell you all about it coming up.
A Maricopa Association of Governments committee is expected to vote today to approve the complete route of the South Mountain Freeway. The location of the 8-lane highway could leave some Ahwatukee residents without homes. Ahwatukee Foothills residents living in Goldman Ranch soon might be looking for a new place to live. This neighborhood within walking distance of Desert Vista High School will be demolished if the vote goes through. The new 22-mile freeway route is designed to connect Chandler and Levine. Construction may start as soon as 2013.